You are listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast, a podcast by diehard fans for fans. Mark covers all things Penn State football and the Pittsburgh Steelers, as well as anything related to the sports and fitness world. Tune in weekly to listen to a couple of dedicated fans talk about these topics without filters. Thank you for listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast.
All right, everybody. Just got on. Give me 1 second. James Franklin is fired from Penn State. I said, oh man, guys, I've been saying this for years. Like I said, they fired him. He's done. You know, I said after Northwestern, if they lost to Northwestern, he would be fired. And that appears to be the case. He's done. I said after Oregon, I thought he should be fired because I kind of knew what this was going to lead to. I knew it wasn't looking good because we should have beaten Oregon. Now going into the season, I thought we'd beat Oregon no matter what. And then after I saw them perform, I said, we're not beating Oregon. And then after they lost to UCLA, I'm like, dude, we're not winning another game. And then after UCLA, I said, if he loses to Northwestern, he will be fired. And he was. 12 years. I've been saying it for 10. He needs to be fired. And he was. So, sorry, my audio might have been a little jacked up there. But he's done. I said after Northwestern he would be fired, and he is. So I don't know how you can keep him. I don't know how you can keep him after Oregon. I thought he should be fired because I kind of knew what this was going to lead to. I'm just kind of shocked right now. I don't know if anybody's going to come on here with me, but he is gone. After you lose to UCLA and Northwestern, there's no way you can keep your job. There's no way. Absolutely no way. Hasn't won a big game. Well, he's won very, very few big games in his career. If he had won a couple of big games here and there, he'd probably still have his job, but he didn't. And after you lose to UCLA and Northwestern, you have to be gone. So what they're going to do now is Terry Smith. Okay, I'm going to go through Twitter here because I don't know, man. I don't know. Is he trending? James Franklin is trending on Twitter. I just got on Twitter randomly. I never get on there because I was trying to check on Puka Nacua, who is my receiver. He got injured. I don't know what happened to him, but then I saw the breaking news. He is fired. Yeah, everyone is very happy. Sorry, guys. I'm in shock. Who are you getting now? I think Terry Smith will be the interim. Terry Smith will be the interim. Gronk is now our quarterback. So going forward, we should support Terry Smith for sure. Jared, welcome in. But they should support Terry Smith, and Gronk is now our quarterback. So we don't who knows what's going to happen from here. But Terry Smith will be the interim. I mean, they did it, man. He's gone. $50 million is his buyout. He's gone.
Yeah.
Who we gonna get? I don't know.
Wow.
But it's anything. Here's the thing. Anything is better than James Franklin for this reason. We know what we have from him, and we know we're not getting past it. I would rather have a question mark. We could go 2-8 for a year, 3-7, and then win a national title. That's what I would rather have, like a question mark. But we need a football guy who's going to embrace NIL. I said Pat Kraft would not take it. He hasn't. I've been saying it, Jared. I've been saying it, and it's happened. It's happened. So I don't know who we're going to get. Nebraska fans are starting to sweat. They should be sweating because we might be getting them. So we'll see. But I think Jared will come back on here. Yeah, Jared.
Hey,
I'm going to try to sign into X on here. Go ahead and give your thoughts.
Man, I honestly, after the game was over, dude, I was really just waiting for the news. I don't care if Penn State is not a team or a university that does something of this nature, but dude,
they've never done it. They've never fired a coach, I don't think.
No.
Joe, we've had Joe for years. I've had 6 coaches between the Steelers and Penn State. My teams have had 6 coaches in the entire existence. You know, like
right.
I've had 6 coaches. That's it. Well, 5 coaches total in my lifetime. Bill Cowher, Paterno, O'Brien, and Franklin. But we don't do this, and I'm glad they are doing it. The stream's been great. Thanks, Arctic Teeth. Appreciate it, man.
Dude, listen, it needed to be done. We needed to make a statement. We needed to prove that we were actually going to be a team that wanted to be serious, that wanted to actually get somewhere, and we knew it wasn't going to be with Franklin. We just knew it. I mean, you can bring up all the recruits all you want. You can talk about, the records that he has had with all of his teams, but in the end, dude, he just wasn't the guy for Penn State. I'm sorry it took 10, 12 years to realize that, but dude, I'm just so darn happy as a fan of a team that wants to show that they want to be something. Like that really is a hard thing to do. And I don't envy anybody's job right now at Penn State who has to answer for these things. But again, it's a very important thing to just rip that Band-Aid off, dude. That's always the first step when these things happen. Like they absolutely took the most important step into trying to do something for this fan base and, of course, for the Nittany Lions themselves, dude. It's unprecedented. I mean, that you had to have this happen. But, man, I'm so stinking happy. I'm so glad that these guys are showing that they want to be winners or they want to do something that's going to make them winners. Like, get another voice in, guy. Like, it's obvious he just did not have the kids. He did not have those students, those players, no one. Like, it needed to be done, dude.
Did you see the screen? Official Twitter feed of Penn State University head football coach James Franklin. Oh, I wonder if he'll send his tweet out this week. Has fired. He's gone.
Oh, bud.
He's gone, man.
I bet you there's a lot of people that might have a.
Listen, I'm not gonna. I'm not here to dance on his grave. We'll answer your comments, guys. I mean, this is unprecedented. Like I knew, like I said, I thought he would be fired. Okay, I thought he would be fired after Northwestern. I said it, Jared. You were on here. That clip I made had a lot of views. I said James Franklin needs to be fired. Period. That's it.
Yep. After
Oregon, that was unacceptable. Yep. And then they lost to UCLA and then Northwestern. For those of you guys that wanted James Franklin fired, it was good that we lost. Because at that point you don't have a choice. We haven't had a choice in years as to let him go. You couldn't let him go. Now you have to. No. But the AD wasn't going to take it. The Penn State's not going to take it anymore, man. We have a new AD, and he has a set on him, and I knew he wouldn't take it, and he let him go. So that's it. He's gone.
Yeah.
Hard to believe, but finding out James Franklin is fired. Good Lord. James Franklin walking into work. James Franklin picking up 50 miles.
Sorry. That's terrible.
James Franklin, when he heard the news.
I said, what time you want me to leave and what door you want me out of, brother?
Coach O. Yeah, man. I mean, he's gone. He's gone. So I'm going to read the comments, Jared.
Yep.
Free. They really did it. Damn, who y'all getting now? I don't know. Nebraska fans are starting to sweat. They should. Hallelujah. Well, that's the best news I've gotten on a golf course. Nice. Have fun. I wish I was golfing. The streams have been great, man. Thanks for up the work. Thanks, Arctic Teeth. I'm like you. I was done with Franklin after that back-to-back 1-point loss to OSU. He said, this ain't happening again after the game. Then we lost at home to Michigan, Penn State the following week. Yes. Evil James Franklin. Yes. F yes. Dude, we had someone on here last night. Their name was Notre Lame. I don't know who it was. Brett founded that saying, just so you guys know. The real question is how Kevin Chandler is doing. Yeah, Kevin Chandler wanted to keep supporting Franklin. And, yeah, PSU only fired Franklin after I promised $20 million. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. They started a GoFundMe. I was going to start it myself, but someone said last night on a podcast that someone started a GoFundMe. I was like, it's about time. At least y'all beating my Browns ass. Yeah. Yeah, the talk should be more of who you need instead of dancing on his downfall as an Oregon fan. Yeah, I'm not going to dance on his grave, man. I did not want this. I feel bad for the guy. He has kids in school. He has a family. He was like, I feel bad for him, man. I do.
Listen,
who will they hire?
I'll try to correct myself. Like, I'm not saying that I am so happy that he has, as a human being, been fired from the university. I'm just so happy that the circumstances are going to be a little different in that sense. Like, we were in a very bad situation and it was a bad relationship. Like, no one was happy, dude. Like, I'm sorry, but that's the thing about it. That's why I'm so happy, is that now there's going to be a little tension break from all of this. Like, I'm not saying James Franklin is a terrible human being or he doesn't deserve to, like, have a shot doing what he does, but it's just not at Penn State. Penn State has a much different
Smith is the
standard.
Intern,
it has a much different. They said Terry Smith's the intern?
Yep, he's the intern.
I'm just saying, like, it's certainly the most important aspect of this particular kind of sports. Like in college football, it's very important to have the coach right, the quarterback right, your coaching right. Like, everything else could be a delightful bonus. Like, everybody else could be like really good recruits and they can be molded into something. And it just seems like there was no molding being done. There was just a bunch of lumps of clay that were just kind of going through the motion, man. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. That's why I'm happy, is that none of this is no longer going to be the thing. It's just, it needed to change. I'm very sorry for James Franklin. I do truly believe that he has a chance to be a head coach elsewhere, but it's just not in the Big Ten, and it's certainly not at Penn State. That's just what it comes down to. It's harsh and it sucks, but that's the way it is.
Bro, my phone is blowing up right now. Oh my God.
No doubt.
On the one post last night, those guys were walking through selling those bags to put on your head.
Yeah.
A lot of people in there were like, that's bad. It's good. It's bad for recruiting. That looks bad for recruits. I'm like, dude, they're two guys with bags on their heads. They're not the ones making it look bad. Okay.
No.
And I commented, for those of you complaining about this, you're the problem. And it has a bunch of likes now. So don't have to apologize. I think he will land on his feet. PSU should push for Signetti or Lane Kiffin. So who I think they get next? I think they push for Meyer. Signetti's possible. I don't know. Lane Kiffin. I don't know. Larry Johnson, he wanted hired. But anyway, Joe Brady, I don't know if he leaves the NFL. He's going to be a head coach in the NFL, but I don't know, man. Robert Saleh, John Gruden. I mean, there's a lot of names out there. Just watched the 2015 highlights versus Northwestern. We're back where we were 10 years ago. Yep. They're saying Virginia Tech's getting Franklin. Good for them. How old is Meyer? I don't know, man, but we need a guy who literally will do anything, and I mean anything, to win a national title. That's what we need.
That's the first qualifications, yes.
Football guy that embraces NIL. That's what we need. Franklin was neither of those.
Step two.
I thought Meyer had health issues. Deal
with the NIL.
Urban Meyer's had health issues since he began coaching. It's always
I've heard that too.
He's a flaky guy, but he was supposed to be the coach. He was going to be the coach at Penn State. Kenny Dillingham or Will Stein, go young. Signetti. Yeah, we kind of have to go young. We do.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We kind of have
It's
to
true.
go young.
I mean, Matt Rule's like what, 45, 50? Is he not that much?
Matt Rule is, let me think. He was born in the late 70s. He's probably, I don't know, he's like 50 maybe.
Okay.
Because he played for Penn State back in 95, 96, I think.
Yeah, that would put him in the early 70s. So, yeah, he'd probably be around 45, 50.
He's 50. Yep. He's 50 on the dot. Yeah, born in 75. So, again, he was playing for Penn State in like the mid-90s. I think he was on the 94 team. Roller Signet, but who is a great hire anyways. No game is guaranteed win. PSU fans saw that this year. I mean, I don't know, man. This is the symptom of a James Franklin coach team. The most talented team we've ever had would have gone probably 3-9. Now I have a lot more confidence. This is what I wanted to happen. I have a lot more confidence now. Grunkmeyer is the quarterback. Terry Smith, Letterman of Penn State, is now the head coach. He was the assistant head coach. I want to give James Franklin credit. He surrounded himself with a lot of Lettermen. I respect that.
Yes.
He surrounded himself with some good coaches, minus the coordinators. They're horrendous. But in his opening presser, he mentioned Joe Paterno, the great Joe Paterno. I have a lot of respect for James Franklin for saying that. And in a sense, for what he did at Penn State, he has my respect.
Yes.
But in a sense, and I have a lot of respect for the fact that he mentioned Joe in his opening presser when he was hired.
Yep.
He was a Penn State guy, man. He was a fan. But he is not a Penn State person as a person. He is not a Penn State guy. He is not Penn State.
No.
Say he's a Penn State guy in the sense that he was a fan. He's from Pennsylvania, played football here, had a pretty impressive resume coming into Penn State, and that's it. But I knew he was not the guy, man. He had something off about him. When I was a kid, Penn State often competed for national, played in the title for 3 out of 5 years. Yep. That was a good childhood. For those of you tuning in, thank you for the comments. Please subscribe. We went up 20 subs after last night's dude, we're up 30 subscribers since last night.
Wow.
Our episode is almost 500 views, Jared. The one last night has over 1.7 thousand.
Yeah.
So Lane Kiffin would be a home run hire if you can steal him from Ole Miss. I don't know if he'll come from the South, and I don't know if he'll win us a national title, but with Penn State is a home run place to go.
Yeah.
If he can come here, a football guy, and get the resources he needs, the NIL, he will come. And I don't know if he'll demand as much money as a lot of other guys would. Matt Rule and Lane Kiffin, I can see maybe not demanding all that much money compared to like some other guys. Who else? Urban Meyer, I don't know if he would demand a lot of money because I don't know how long he would coach. They could give Urban Meyer like a 3-4 year contract.
Yeah.
Maybe like $4 million a year. I think he would do it. Yeah, I don't think Matt Rule would be a good head coach. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know, man. I don't know if he's the home run hire that's going to take us over the hump. Matt Rule went to my high school, Murray. He played for Penn State. He is a representation of his town. Take your idiotic opinions elsewhere. He's a vagabond. What is that?
Vagabond. It's kind of like a peasant.
Yeah, that's not true at all. I don't know if he would be the home run hire we need, but he is Penn State. Like, he is the definition. So is Terry Smith. Terry Smith is a solid coach. That's one thing Franklin had for him, was he was a solid coach. But I think Franklin, he said himself, he's a micromanager. He said that in an interview with Adam Brenneman. That's his issue. He would still be here if he wasn't a micromanager. They probably want to win more big games.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Matt Rule is like Franklin. I don't know if he's mid-Arctic. I don't think he's at Nebraska. I don't think he has it at Nebraska, man. I don't think he has the support that he would have here.
Right.
But there's pros and cons. He's a Penn State guy. That could be good or bad. So,
culture would love him.
Yeah, for what he's done, what did Franklin do before he came to PSU at Vanderbilt? Nothing. I mean, he was in the NFL. He coached for the Packers. I mean, he had a decent resume. What he did at Vanderbilt got him the job here, because what he did there was pretty impressive.
Yes.
I just subbed. Thanks, Brad guy. Everyone wants a guaranteed winning coach, whatever helps you sleep better at night. Yeah. Alex texted me. My phone is blowing up, dude. My God. Matt Rule, in my opinion, is the Franklin, good and decent, but not great and able to win big games. Yeah, I don't know if he's – we need not a good coach. We need a great coach that can go into an elite coach. We need a Signetti who can be an Urban Meyer. Mm-hmm. That's not that hard to do, honestly. We can get a great coach. Franklin was good. He was not great.
Right.
He was kind of good. He wasn't great. He has had limited opportunities with a dump team comparing Nebraska talent to. Yeah, that is true, Alex. I like Bill O'Brien considering. I mean, he's not a recruiter. He's a football guy. I don't know if he would embrace NIL. Hire outside of your We Are Guy box. Yeah, I agree. I kind of agree with that. I guess we'll see. Fax Murray, LOL. Yeah, because that's why they didn't hire Larry Johnson, because he was a part of the scandal coaches. So that's why they didn't hire him. But again, this is insane. Now let's pack the stadium. Yep, let's pack the stadium. Support Gronkmeyer. Well, this is still the same staff, but
yes,
I would pack the stadium for Gronk and Terry Smith. I would do that. But the other guys, they can take a hike. No one, man. James Franklin walked into a dumpster fire and brought the program back to relevancy faster than anyone thought possible. He had us a consistent winner and put Penn State back on the map, and for that, he'll always have my respect and appreciation, but it was his time. Yeah, I somewhat agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, bud, you're looking at so many different credentials. I mean, you're talking about a guy who needs to do it all, but at the end of the day, like you said, winning is the most important thing. If you can just do everything with a winning attitude, I mean, it's definitely a different quest for like wanting the attitude, but actually getting results. Like, how do you get the results? That's really what I'm asking as a fan. I want a guy with a winning attitude, but he also has to be able to deliver it too. I mean, I thought that was landing for Oregon, and then he just lost to Indiana. Now I can't say that right now. I mean, he did come all the way over to Penn State to win the big game against us, but it's just like then he'd lost to Oregon at home. It's like now I question, like, is he going to be the guy that takes Oregon all the way? Like, there's just so many things that you have to consider, man. I mean, I want the guy to, whoever comes in, just please. You can't hear me? Okay. But yeah, in the end, it's just you need to make sure that this next coach is going to always have this idea that winning needs to be the bigger priority. It doesn't matter about, do I like you? Do you like me? Like, that would be a great thing to have, but I mean, you need to be on the same page of what you're trying to get at. And I never got that with Franklin. Like, Franklin just seemed like he was the guy that always tried to do something like with these players, but it was always about, I care more about what you want over what needs to actually be done. And it just seems like that's always going to be the problem, man. So yeah, that's the first thing I want to see from our next coach, whatever the mentality is, to bring in the right attitude, always be due diligent towards the winning attitude. Just bring that with you, whoever it is.
Don't do it, Bry guy. Fair enough. Matt Rule hasn't even had a full 4 seasons to get his guys out there, not coach Scott Frost kids. Yeah, dude, he hasn't had it at Nebraska, man. Like, I think he's a football guy. If he can embrace NIL, he could get us over the hump. I would have way more trust in him than Franklin. That's for darn sure. Bill Belichick may be available. Is Andy Frank on too? I hope so. I'd rather he shot. All right, Chris is going to join us here.
Okay.
Chris.
So you guys hear me okay?
Hey, guys.
Yeah, don't worry about the background noise, man. It's cool, but I just wanted to get your opinion here real quick. He's gone, so.
Well, I mean, it's something that had to happen. It's something that I was told last night was going to happen. I got a text from a pretty good connection that told me Kraft and Nelly wanted it to happen ASAP. Well, Kraft wanted it to happen ASAP, but Nelly just said, that's fine, but could we do it legally do it without the approval of the BOT? So they just wanted to make sure they met with the BOT today, have an official quorum, whatever. And that's what they did, and he's gone. I mean, the only thing that sucks, and we all knew this was going to happen, is, they have that rule where when a coach is fired, there's a 30-day window where not just recruits but current players could leave. So current players right now, it's like free agency, and teams are going to try to poach some of our good young guys. I already read. So we know about Khalil Taylor. We know Keemon Spill's teetering. Gabriel Jenkins already decommitted. Jazeel Hart, who I was never that big on, said it influences recruitment big time. Leighton Von Brandt, big 4-star offensive tackle, said he really got to talk things over with his family now. And then even Jasir Rogers, who was as locked in as could be, said he's not sure what's going on right now. So, but we knew this was going to get bad before it got worse, but it had to happen. Hopefully they hire Terry Smith as the interim, which is probably what's likely going to happen. Oh, it's already been announced? Okay.
Yep.
And, hopefully Terry could reach out to these guys and try to salvage what he can and move forward.
Yeah. So we're losing recruits, Chris. I'm going to have you on for like an episode, like just you and I pretty much, so that we can talk everything that you want to say. But yeah, you were right. Chris, I don't know how long you've been listening to this show, but I've been saying this for years. So I'm not surprised.
No.
But here's the thing, Chris. It's better this way, even though it's going to get really, really, really bad. It's better this way. Terry Smith is a letterman, a solid coach in my opinion, and Grunk is now our quarterback. So this season, it's a whole different season now, in my opinion. They still have the coordinators that are horrendous, but we don't know what's going to happen now. But it's going to get bad. But who do you think we get?
Oh, I know Pat Kraft loves Matt Rule. That's been well established because Kraft was with Rule at Temple. So I am sure Matt Rule will be a leading candidate. I think it will be an open coaching search, and I think Pat Kraft will swing as big as he can. Now, I know when we lost to UCLA last week, I was told by the same connection, if Kraft has his way, it would be Matt Rule. But I think it's going to be an open coach search, and I'm not saying Matt Rule's a lock. It could be anybody. You got to see who applies. You know what I mean?
Man, this episode is blowing up. My God.
Yes, sir.
But Chris, you're a good addition because you speak your mind like I always did. And we said after Oregon he needed fired, and I thought he would be. I didn't think he would be after Oregon, but I'm like, he needs fired. And then they lost to UCLA and then Northwestern. I mean, that is unacceptable. That is the most talented team we've probably ever had at Penn State, and it might be the worst season we've ever had. That is unacceptable.
Yep. No, I agree. So the question I have, which will be interesting to see, now that Terry Smith's calling the shots, will he play Denmark? Will he play Kobe Howard? Will he get some of this young talent in? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think right now what you're looking for right now is you just got to get these players in a better environment. Like these guys need to have a better voice in the sense like they need to just realize that this whole tension is now broken. And it's like, all right, guys, go out there, just try to find some positivity, like try to get the right mentality, try to do something for at least for these seniors. I mean, these poor guys came back for this. And the fact that they're involved with this whole situation, it's just so unfortunate. So it's like, try your darndest to know what these guys are going to go through, trying to get to the NFL, trying to get beyond Penn State. I mean, give them something to try to do for the rest of the season. Like, it's so important that's the next attitude they give. I mean.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And, this could go two ways. Like, hopefully that tension, like you said, is released, and maybe they could be like UCLA now, where they just play loose, don't give a crap, and now everybody's just doing their thing and playing loose and playing better because you play loose. I hope that's what happens. I mean, not that we're going to beat Ohio State, and I like Grunkenmeyer. I like. We don't know how good he's going to end up being, and he's being put in about the worst situation he could be put in, but I mean, as a recruit, he was a big-time recruit that just kept going up and up and up. His mechanics are flawless. He lit it up. He was the best Elite 11 quarterback we've ever had at the National Elite 11. He was ranked amongst the top guys. Just got to see what happens. But, Brian Kelly left Notre Dame. They hired Marcus Freeman. They didn't miss a beat. Now he was already there on the staff. I wonder if there's an outside chance Terry Smith gets the gig long term. I doubt it. But this happens. Teams go through coaches all the time. You got to keep moving. I mean, Alabama lost Nick Saban, the best coach ever, and they hired Kalen DeBoer, and they're doing pretty well. So, everybody that thinks this is going to be – I mean, there's guys on the message board that say ridiculous things that we're going back to the dark years. It's going to be like 10 years till we're good again. I mean, that's nonsense. Could there be a couple of down years to rebuild? But this is Penn State. It's still a historical powerhouse. We're still in a good recruiting region. So the people that think we're just going to be a 500 team for the next 6-7 years is out of their mind.
Yeah, no, we'll turn it around pretty quick. I mean, we're not dealing with sanction level issues here, but James Franklin will make $666,000 per month, $158,000 per week, $21,000 per day, $9.13 per hour, $15.22 per minute, 25 cents a second with this buyout. It's $50 million, Chris. Do you want me to read Pat Kraft's statement?
Sure. It doesn't matter to me. Go ahead.
Penn State owes an enormous amount of gratitude to Coach Franklin, who rebuilt our football program into a national power. He won a Big Ten championship, led us to 7 New Year's, 6 bowl games, and a college football playoff appearance last year. However, we hold our athletics program to the highest of standards, and we believe that is the right moment for new leadership at the helm of our football program to advance us toward Big Ten and national championships. Kraft has a Kraft wants a national title. That's what he wants.
Yeah. You got to respect him for pulling the trigger and having the guts to do what it took, I like Kraft. And I like Kraft for stepping in with NIL.
I knew he wouldn't take it, Chris. I knew he wouldn't take it. I knew he would not take it. He was not Sandy Barber. Sandy Barber was a train wreck. But from a source, I won't say, but apparently Sandy Barber was not the person that gave him that $10 million, that 10-year contract.
I was just going to say that. I heard that last night. I was just going to say that. Supposedly, it was the chairperson of the BLT, Matt Schuyler, whatever his name is, that he was the main guy that did it. I literally heard that last night. You probably heard it from the same source, original source.
Wow.
So, well, I heard it from you, but I wasn't going to say. But I also heard it from other people too. So,
yeah.
But yeah. So James Franklin last night said, "I promise I'm going to turn this thing around." When did he say that?
He did. He said, "I'm going to fix it. I'll get it fixed." It's his usual dribble nonsense after a press conference. You know what James Franklin said? I told you, I've been to 4 NIL events, and he addresses the crowd. We'll take some questions. You know what he says at every event? He stands up. He says, "Listen, you guys paid to be here. You're paying a lot of money to help our program." He said, "So I want you to ask me any question, and I will answer completely honest." He goes, "When I talk to anybody else, except parents, of course," he goes, "but when I talk to the media, I try to say a bunch of words without saying anything at all. I try to say nothing at all to the media. He basically just placates them." He goes, "But with you guys, I want to be completely honest." So they're just all they were are empty words, which a lot of coaches do. He's gone. He wanted out. Hopefully he's on to whatever. I couldn't see how a guy like him would want to keep putting up with this abuse.
Yeah.
January 9th, playing for a spot in the national title. October 12th, fired. I'm so glad they fired him, man, because I didn't know he said that last night. I'm so glad I didn't hear that, because my wrist would probably be broken if I heard that. Dude, there's no way on God's green earth they could keep him after these 2 losses. No way. Al Golden should be considered. I disagree with that. I do not want Al. You want Al Golden, Chris?
No, there's better candidates than him. There's better candidates than him. But you know what's interesting? I'm not sure if I said this.
Here, actually.
All right, see you, Jay.
All right.
Okay. No, I want to end with this. No, I just want to end with this, bud. No, I'm saying you had the 3-strike rule. Okay, that's how it works. Okay, first strike you lost to Oregon. Second strike you lost to the worst team in your schedule. Strike 3 was you lost at homecoming. Like it was like a perfect downhill avalanche of chaos that you just put yourself into. I mean, again, this had nothing to do with James Franklin as a person. This has everything to do with James Franklin as a coach. And he just did not get you to that level. You were always right there on the cusp of getting somewhere, but he couldn't push you over it. That's just what it is, guys. We're looking for the guy that's going to push them over that next step. Like, he was probably 1 or 2 steps away, but that's still 1 or 2 steps you need to fulfill. So I'm leaving it with that, guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of your podcast, bud. It's been great. Hope you guys have a good one. You see you. Take care, Penn.
All right, take care.
See you post game, Jared. All right.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, Chris. I mean, just say what you want to. Keep saying what you want to say. The floor is yours.
I actually lost my train of thought, but and what sucks is that 30-day window where I didn't realize. I'm not sure if I mentioned that, where players have 30 days now where they could leave wherever they want, which I didn't realize. I think that's crazy where current players could leave in the middle of the year. But I just hope that Terry Smith comes in and plays Denmark, plays Howard, does the right thing, and they play loose. That's the big thing. There's something else I was going to say. I completely losing my train of thought here, but you just got to move forward. This whole thing could have been avoided. I mean, it's good that it happened, but you lost to Oregon. We all knew there was a good chance that could happen. You could have salvaged the season if you had your team mentally prepared and you weren't feeling down and out, licking your wounds. If you had your team mentally prepared to go in to UCLA and you beat UCLA, that carries over to Northwestern. And right now we're sitting with 1 loss and still have a shot at the playoffs, even though we have no chance of winning it all. So, I mean, he did this to himself. It is what it is. End of an era. Hopefully on to better things.
Chris, I don't want to go into any details, but people keep saying he's a great man. Have you heard anything about him personally? Don't get into details, but is he a good man?
I mean, I think with parents, he's a good person. I think he's, when it comes to talking to parents and recruits, he's very genuine, and that's how he won a lot of families over. You would hear a lot of times on with recruits that they don't tell you what you want to hear. It's not just about football. He generally cares about you after life and all that. I'll give you an example. Last year, before the start of the West Virginia game, opening game last year, he did a press conference and was naming all his wide receivers that were looking good, and he overlooked Amari Evans. He forgot to mention Amari Evans. I went to the West Virginia game, ran into Amari Evans' father at the game, and he was saying how Franklin called Amari Evans' father to specifically apologize, saying, I didn't mean to overlook him. Your son's, not a lot of coaches do that. So in that regard, I think he's good, but I also think he's arrogant. And there are some things behind the scenes where he could have saved Pat Chambers' job if he wanted to. Him and Pat Chambers were good friends, and Franklin went to Pat Chambers a lot of times for help, for advice. And he could have said, I heard he went to Pat Chambers a lot for advice, for help. And when all that crap happened with Pat Chambers was getting fired, I heard from about somebody as close as could be to Pat Chambers that Pat Chambers went to Franklin for a little help with that, since Franklin had the ear of the AD, and Franklin basically slammed the door in his face. And so I have heard quite a few stories the other way as well, where he gets to be all about himself and just blocks people out. I heard there's a guy I work with, played high school football with this guy who went to East Stroudsburg, played football with Franklin. And guy's a good football player. I don't know if they're frat buddies or whatever, but they're pretty close to East Stroudsburg. This guy fell on hard times, and I guess his high school football coach told my buddy he was at a camp with Franklin, and at Penn State with Franklin, and he asked Franklin to give this guy a call, and it'd be nice to hear from you, just to uplift him a little. No money or anything, not asking. Just give him a call and say, hey, haven't heard from you. Hope you're doing well. And Franklin said, no, I can't do that. So I've heard it a couple of different ways. He's a little arrogant, a little full of himself. But I know when it came to recruits and parents, they loved him for the most part.
Chris, read that comment. That's a great comment, Thomas James. Thank you.
Well, yeah, Terry Smith is beloved at Penn State. Like, I've met Terry Smith a number of times at these NIL events too, and he is such a down to earth, just warm, friendly guy. Like, there is not a better person you could have as an interim coach right now to try to right this ship, to try to salvage recruits. You know, Terry Smith's a great guy. Like, he is genuinely respected by all. I've never heard a bad word about Terry Smith, whether it was coaching, personality, nothing.
What about Terry? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guys are going back and forth in the comments about like, would Lane Kiffin leave a top 5 team right now to go to Penn State, who is unranked? Well, historically, like, he hasn't done that well in the SEC, so I can see it happening. But I mean,
I take Lane Kiffin in a heartbeat.
Me too. So realistically, right now, Chris, who do you think is the next head coach at Penn State?
It's too early to tell. I mean, if I had to pick, I'd say Matt Rule, but it's just way too early to tell because, well, here's a question. Are they going to open up this, like, are they going to hire the next permanent head coach? It'd probably be after the season, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, it'll, like, absolutely. But so much happens in college football and the NFL, you don't know who could be the coach. You know what I mean? It could be John Gruden. It could be Urban Meyer.
That's what I'm saying. I remember when – I know Pat Kraft is going to swing big, but, you know, I remember when Paterno and then Bradley, when they were fired, and we kept waiting to hear who the next head coach is. And every single top candidate you heard of was not Bill O'Brien. When Bill O'Brien was hired, I had no idea. Like, he wasn't even, like, mentioned as a candidate. You heard Greg Roman and Al Golden. So you don't know. You have no idea. And, you know, you don't know who's going to be interested. But one thing I'll say, and I know people keep saying this for obvious reasons, Curt Cignetti is not coming to Penn State. I almost everybody says it's not happening. He just signed a huge deal with Indiana. He has things rolling there. He is not coming. I would love to get Curt Cignetti, but he's not coming to Penn State. Not right now, anyways.
No, definitely not. Yeah, I don't know who they're going to get. Again, there's so much that happens throughout the season in college football and the NFL. Like, Indiana's legit, you know, like Vanderbilt's doing pretty good, you know, like who you never know what's going to happen. And the NFL too, you don't know, man. Like, the Texans, they're not that good this year. They should have been better. I mean, across the board, man, you don't know. Like, you just don't know what anything could happen. We could get here's the thing. Outside of like a Cignetti or like a Saban, Penn State could get just about anybody, man. It's an attractive place to come to. So,
right, you know, it is. Now the buyout sucks because that's less money they're going to have for NIL and stuff. But like I said, it had to be done, and like that's what everybody would say when people for this whole year and even the previous years would say fire Franklin. Everybody would say, well, who are you going to get? Who are you going to get? Well, how can you ask? It's an unfair question to ask when you don't know who's going to apply for the job till it's posted. And I said this before on your show. When LSU let Ed Oregon go, nobody had Brian Kelly going to LSU. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw Bill Belichick going to North Carolina. So, you know, it could be a big name guy. It could be a great coach that just comes out of nowhere. But I do think Matt Rule is definitely going to be a very good chance that, you know, because I know Kraft really likes Matt Rule. And it's just these coaches are so funny. And here's what I was going to say. I forgot to say. Without looking it up, you know who Matt Rule's defensive coordinator is right now?
Oh, I don't remember.
John Butler. That's one guy I don't want. John Butler was Bill O'Brien's defensive coordinator when he was here, and that guy sucked.
Okay.
Yeah, I do not want Matt Rule to bring in John Butler. Now, when a new coach comes in, he can bring in whatever staff he wants. Obviously, that's how it works. But hopefully he'll know enough to keep certain guys like Terry, maybe Dion. Dex, if the Virginia job opens up, they'll say he'll probably be the next Virginia head coach. But, yeah, I mean, it's and you never know with these coaches because, you know, you had Matt Rule who did an incredible job at Temple. He did an incredible job at Baylor. I know he's very likable. I mean, even on the NFL level, I have one of my best friends is friends with Al Holcomb. Al Holcomb was the defense coordinator with the Carolina Panthers, now linebacker coach with the Bills. And Matt Rule was at Carolina with him. And this Al Holcomb loved Matt Rule. He's just a very well-respected guy. Everybody likes him. Players like him. And, you know, but again, I have no idea who it's going to be for sure.
So going through the comments here, someone said Matt Rule is James Franklin 2.0. Do you think that's true?
You can't say that. You don't know. You don't know how he's going to be. Now, are there similarities where Franklin was at Vanderbilt and overachieved with lesser talent, just as Rule did at Temple and Baylor? Sure, but you don't know. I mean, you don't know until the guy gets here and he gets some recruiting classes and could, you know, build his offense. What's crazy is it seems like in Franklin's tenure, when we had a good offenses, the defenses were a little shaky. When we had good defenses, the offenses were a little shaky. I mean, it's just so hard to put it together. I mean, isn't it crazy to think of back in 2017, we put up 30-some points in Ohio State, and then in 2018, we put up 28 or whatever it was, losing by 1. Like, we had good offenses back then. Even Ricky Ronnie, we put up some points. And that one year with Sean Clifford, where, I don't know, there's 2019, 2022, whatever. 2019 must have been. We lost to Ohio State. I forget what it was. At home, we had a close game. We were right there with them until the middle of the fourth quarter. Parker Washington went off. Like, every year we had good offenses, the defense wasn't good. Then we have these great defenses with Manny Diaz. And even last year when Tom Allen played Ohio State, he did a decent job. And the offense couldn't score points. So I don't know.
So, Chris, I don't know how you are on time, but just going through some of these comments, like Matt Rule has had a Scott Frost roster. I mean, I've said it before. He doesn't have it at Nebraska. He's a football guy, and he'll have way more NIL support here. I mean, you think, bro, we have not seen a Penn State program supported by NIL yet. We have not. We have not seen the full power of it yet. You know?
Not even close. I do think Matt Rule will improve NIL. How much, I don't know. But like I said, he's very likable. He's respected. I know one BOT member is lukewarm on him, doesn't really want him. But I know Wales did not like Franklin. He wouldn't schmooze up with him, and for whatever reason, they just turned him off. I mean, Terry Pagula gave nothing to football NIL, from my understanding. So
he doesn't like Franklin, right?
Right, correct. I do think our NIL will improve, and I know the one source that was basically one of the main guys that broke that Franklin was done, saying it last night. He said the athletic department has more money than anything now. He says between the Adidas deal and between the private equity, which I have no idea how all that's going to work, but the athletic department does have more money. So you get some more whales, you know, even if it's an extra $5-6 billion a year, you know, that's 2-3 big time recruits right there. So I think our NIL will improve, but you know, the question is with the revenue now. So the revenue was $20.5 million. Football would probably get about 75% of it. So do we still reach our revenue cap? You know, where, you know, do we still give football the max amount they could for revenue, since we're going to be going in the red even more so with Franklin's contract? Hopefully we will, but I do think NIL improves a little at least.
Oh, dude. We haven't seen the full power of NIL, first of all, and you bring in a Matt Roll guy who is a football guy, beat Penn State at Temple. Are you kidding me? Had Pat Kraft as his AD, had Terry Smith there, dude. I don't care if he's like an Urban Meyer type of coach. He's better than Franklin, and he will have all the support. He'll have support from me. I haven't gone to I don't think I went to one game under Franklin, and that's because someone bought me the ticket. I was not going to go watch and spend my money on a James Franklin coach team. Matt Roll, he'll have all of my support, all of it.
Right. Well,
Until
you're talking about support from within, which he'll have, but the support from within is all revenue. Like, there's still people that don't even that have a hard time differentiating between revenue and NIL. Revenue comes from within the school. Ticket sales, the Adidas deal, that is revenue. Revenue is capped this year at $20.5 million for all athletics. That means that, and then it's the school's discretion how they want to divvy up what sports they want to give the $20.5 million. Which, like I said, football will get the lion's share, and then that $20.5 million every year will go up however many million each year. But revenue comes from within. NIL is donors. It's outside donors. It's the collective. It's whales. It's guys like Terry Pagula, Ira Luber, and you and me, even regular just average Joes. But because some people, they still didn't know. I was at the one NIL event I was at. It was like, it wasn't a fundraiser. It was an education NIL event. And these guys just started talking, assuming everybody knew the difference between revenue and like what I just explained, the difference between revenue and NIL. They didn't even explain it. I'm not only happy with Franklin gone. I'm happy that he's going to bring in new blood and everything else. And here's the thing: I don't know this. Does Matt Roll have a GM at Nebraska? Because we didn't have a GM. People talk about Andy Frank like he's this professional GM, and he's not. So we might bring in a GM. We might have, Matt Roll with a background a little bit in the pros, might bring more of an NFL model, business model to the program. So that's assuming he's the coach. But even if he's not, hopefully we get an established GM that's not afraid to spend on recruits.
Chris, to go through some of these comments, someone said head coach Matt Roll, offensive coordinator Dana Holgerson, he's a football guy, with Dylan Raiola, and then Rex Ryan as the DC.
Where does the Rex Ryan come from?
I don't know, but
a lot of these guys, they bring their former OC. So if it is Matt Roll, if Dana Holgerson, I think he's their offense coordinator now, will come along. Rex Ryan, yeah, well, because I probably said John Butler sucks. Listen, I'd rather anybody. The only person I wouldn't want besides John Butler right now is Jim Knowles.
So Brett said, "Thank God." So if here's another thing too, man. If Matt Roll comes to Penn State, he's bringing Dylan Raiola with him.
Possibly. Now you have to remember though, what you're not thinking about is the NIL aspect. Dylan Raiola is getting big time NIL from Nebraska guys. They're not going to honor his deal coming to Penn State. That's what you got to remember.
Well, I agree with that, but we talk about the NIL support for Matt Roll. I think he'll get it. They'll both get it here. But
we'll see.
Good or bad, Dylan Raiola is probably coming here, and I don't know. But so Dana Holgerson is his OC right now.
I think, I'm not sure. I think I might have read that. You could probably look it up real quick.
Dude, he's nuts, man. I like him.
I know Butler's the DC. I know he has some guy named Phil Snow that's on the defensive staff. We're kind of jumping the gun, though, assuming it's going to be Matt Roll.
He's the OC at Nebraska, yes. He is.
Right.
Former head coach of West Virginia. He's nuts.
There you go.
Who was the
and
old
bring me a coach that's not a love them up pansy. Like, bring me a coach that, will hold guys accountable. That would.
Because we already have a guy that drops them every day, and that's Pat Kraft. But hold on, let me see here. The West Virginia coach Bill Stewart. I went to West Virginia football camp in high school. He came out and gave us a speech, and my goodness, man, he was something. He was something else. He told us two things. He said, go outside, dig a hole, fill it back up, and stay out of the car. That's what he said. He said, meaning don't get in the car with a bunch of troublemakers and go around and cause trouble. That's the two things he said. He said, if you dig a hole and fill it back up, that builds discipline and hard work. I don't know. That's what he told us. But he was another nutcase too, in a good way.
Yeah.
He passed away. But Keemon Spell just decommitted. Fantastic. That's
wonderful. Well, we kind of saw that coming. That sucks. That one hurts, man. That one really hurts.
Khalil Taylor, man, a PA guy. And Keemon Spell, if I'm not wrong, he's a PA guy too, right?
Yeah, McKee Sport, lighten it up. Keemon Spell is the best running back prospects in Saquon Barkley. Like, I know a lot of people like running backs are a dime a dozen, whatever, but Keemon Spell was good. Like, this guy is a stud. That hurts. Well, he was teetering anyways. I mean, he said after his game, I sent you the Twitter thing, after his game last Friday, somebody asked him if he's 100% with Penn State, and he said, no, I'm not 100%. I'm going to take other visits. So, I mean, he saw it coming anyways. Franklin killed the program. It is what, you got to rebuild. We saw this coming, though.
I mean, Matt or Chris, I know you don't feel for him personally. I feel I do for him and his family. I feel bad, but his arrogance, man, he never embraced his community. When he did his opening presser, like I said before, I respected the fact that he mentioned Joe Paterno. I respected that.
Yeah.
But he said, like, I'll be at birthday parties blowing up balloons. I'm going to be involved in the community. That stopped immediately. Why did he not do that stuff? Like, what was that? Do you know?
Why he stopped being involved with the community? I have no idea. I mean, I didn't know how much he was involved or wasn't involved, to be honest with you. He said all the things you wanted to hear, but then if he did or didn't, I'm not sure. I just think he was JV-ish all the way around. I mean, I don't think he knew how to he just didn't handle things well all the time. I mean, the past 2 years he's getting in shouting matches with fans. Don't punch down. You get, even if you deserve some of the criticism, you don't go up in the stands and ask, what's your name? Give me your number. Like, you're making yourself look like an idiot when you're supposed to be this respectable head coach. Maybe not respectable, but you know what I mean? Big time head coach. Yep. And he's getting in arguments with fans. Something else. Oh, and then you remember last year, I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago, I think it was last year, where somebody asked him a question about Joe Paterno, because I don't know if it was like an anniversary or somebody was doing some kind of little documentary about, however many years later after the sanctions. And somebody tried to ask him a question about it. And he immediately ran off the podium, stepped to the side to have a PR guy come up. And then somebody tried to ask him again, and then he ran off the podium again. Like, you gotta handle things better than that. Like, he talks about a JV setup after the Big Ten championship loss last year. A lot of things what he did was JV-ish.
He's always been. To me, there was always something off about him, man. I've been saying it for 10 years that he needed to be fired. 10 years. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know why he just didn't have the guts to change his approach at all. You know what I mean?
I think he was, and again, I'm not trying to attack the guy personally. This is a head coach thing. I think he was so arrogant that he would have rather crashed and burned.
Very arrogant.
He would have rather crashed and burned than changed. That's what happened. He got fired. I said after Oregon he should be fired, and then UCLA. And I did not think that we would lose to UCLA. I knew it was possible. I said that before the game, and I said we could lose tomorrow to Northwestern, and we did. And I said like 2 weeks ago, if they lose to Northwestern after UCLA, he needs to be fired, and he was. $50 million, man.
Do you remember when he first started coaching here, how he did those coaches caravan tours? You remember that at all? He was called coaches. Yeah. So it wasn't just him, but it was usually a couple other coaches. Could have been like a volleyball coach, someone else. They would go around different parts of PA and put on little events where, you had a little bit of food, a little dinner, like a buffet, and they get up there and speak, sometimes take questions. So he was at I went to two of them, and he was at a coach's caravan tour in Hazleton, and I went to see it. And he just came out of the bathroom or something. It wasn't around a lot of people. This is right when Moorhead quit. Moorhead left to be a head coach, and he hired Ricky Ronnie. And I asked him, I said, so are you going to keep that same with Ricky Ronnie? Are you going to keep that same great offense with that Moorhead head? Because he was walking down the hall. I said, Coach, he turned around, looks at me, said, are you going to keep that same great offense that Moorhead had with Ronnie? And he looked at me, didn't say a word, and just went through a door. Like he couldn't even give you, we'll see, or like he couldn't even answer it. It wasn't a bad question. It wasn't a gotcha question. But like something like that, he couldn't even answer. But then he wants you to give him his money. Huh? What's that?
Who was it?
Franklin.
Are you serious? Wow.
Yeah, he was in a hallway. He just came out of the bathroom. I think the guy's in the bathroom with him. And then we were walking down the hallway. He's like a couple feet in front of me. There weren't a lot of people around. And he was getting ready to go into the little auditorium or gym area where he was going to speak. And I said, Coach. And he stopped and turned around. And I said, hey, with Ronnie here, you're gonna keep that same great offense that you did with Moorhead. And he could have just placated me. He could have just told me, we'll see, we're going to keep something. Like he could have gave me some quick little answer. And he literally looked at me, turned around, and went through a door. Not that's a big deal, but it just goes to like his overall character of handling things. It's
bro, he was so arrogant. Like, I don't get it, man. A guy from Pennsylvania played D2 football. He was a good quarterback, had a decent resume, comes to Penn State. He's a Penn State fan, and that's how he conducts himself. I don't get it. Why did he didn't appreciate the job, man. I don't get it. Why?
The only thing I can think of is when you get a lot of criticism, which he has got over the years, and he hears a lot of outside noise, even though he says he tries to avoid it. I think it becomes natural for any human being to be like, screw these guys,
Good point.
Nobody's going to influence me. I don't have to listen to them. It's my program. I could answer a question how I want to answer. I mean, I'm just speculating. Like, that's my assumption of if you had hundreds of people coming at you, you should have done this, you should have done that. Why'd you do this? You're no good, blah, blah, blah. You can't sit there and appease everybody. You can't answer everybody. So, and a lot of people after a while, they're going to react a certain way. But that's part of being a professional. You got to be able to handle that stuff better. But that Keymon Spell shit sucks though, man.
Wow, dude, here's the thing, Chris. Either way, we were going to crash and burn, but this is the better crash and burn.
Yeah.
Instead of landing on Snake Island, we landed in the water, and we have a shot to survive. So,
yeah, we do. We do. Like I said, I hope Terry Smith could reach out to these guys ASAP. I'm sure that's what he's doing right now. And no, here's the thing. Franklin ran the NIL. Like, from what I was told, when I was told Pat Kraft stepped in to get Keymon Spell $1 million NIL deal or some big, I said, well, could he do that with like Keegan Croucher? Since we're still recruiting, he's gone now, but since we're recruiting him, and the answer I got was he because of contractual obligations of what you're allowed to do, you can't overstep so much. But what I was told, if it's like a big top 10 definite big time player, Kraft would step in. Now here's a question: Franklin's gone. What's Terry Smith's NIL? Who is Terry Smith going to be in charge of NIL for the rest of the year? I mean, obviously Pat Kraft's still going to have to say it all, but is Terry Smith going to have a different philosophy? Is he going to, reach out to certain recruits and be like, I know Franklin was only offering you so much, but I'm willing to give you a little more. Can you imagine sitting in trying to figure out that budget right now? They just fired Franklin. They got an $800 million stadium renovation. Now you got to factor in his buyout and however much that's going to cost each year that they're giving them. You got to factor that whole budget out and then see what you're going to have for revenue and NIL, and that's very. They got to get on that.
So, a couple comments here. Who would my top 3 candidates be to answer you guys? The first one would be Urban Meyer. I don't know about John Gruden, man. I think that would be a dumpster fire if he came here.
They wouldn't hire him.
Urban Meyer. I think Matt Rule would probably be my number 2. And then number 3.
We talking realistic hires?
I mean, I'm just giving my top 3 guys that I think: Urban Meyer, Matt Rule, Robert Saleh, Joe Brady's in there. But realistically, I think Matt Rule would be the guy. But and someone just said we could dip into D2 or FCS and get a guy.
I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to bring in a brand name proven guy. I don't think they're going to go. I know it worked with Cignetti, but I don't see Penn State doing that. They're going to get a brand name guy. And this is the thing. Unless I have everybody in front of my face, it's hard to just know offhand. But offhand, Urban Meyer would bring you, even though there's people that don't like him, he'd bring you instant credibility. You would get your recruit. Nobody would get recruiting back on track faster than Urban Meyer. He'd bring instant credibility. He would get your recruiting back on track. Will Stein, I know they lost yesterday, very good offensive mind. Joe Brady was the architect of that 2019 LSU great offense. So off the top of my head, they would probably be my top 3 guys. And then I'd have Matt Rule right in there at number 4. But like I said, there's other guys there's coaches that are going to be out there we don't know about. Yeah,
Lincoln Riley, what do you think about him?
Lincoln Riley's tied up. His buyout's even bigger at USC. I wouldn't want Lincoln Riley. I'll tell you what, I've watched more USC the past couple of years, and I've even been on some USC shows, our call-in shows, the voice of college football for USC. Lincoln Riley will be running the ball down his opponent's throat, but then will insist on getting away from the run and throwing 20 times in a row. Like, Lincoln Riley is still coaching. He still thinks he has a coaching style that's still in the Big 12 where it's pass a million times a game. So I wouldn't want Lincoln Riley. Lane Kiffin, though I think it's unlikely, I would take Lane Kiffin in a heartbeat. Lane Kiffin, even though he had good quarterbacks, you're going to have a good offense with Lane Kiffin. Your quarterback's going to get developed. He's going to recruit a good quarterback because of his pedigree and history of developing quarterbacks. And I'll tell you another guy that's probably unlikely that I think is a no-nonsense disciplinarian. Mike Elko from Texas A&M, I wouldn't like. I like Mike Elko. Now, here's a name that people scoff at and laugh. And I'm not exactly sure. I guess the guy could be a bit of a, an ass at times. But why are people so against Greg Schiano? He's done a pretty respectable job at Rutgers, considering it's Rutgers.
Yeah,
but some people scoff at that. I don't.
So
I just want to win.
Realistically, man, there's certain guys that are unproven that it's just like I want a football guy who will embrace NIL. And here's another thing that we don't know what's going to happen the rest of the year. Franklin's staff is still there. Terry Smith has taken over, but that NIL team is still there. They're horrendous. The coordinators are horrendous. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I want a football guy that will embrace NIL that I know can take us to the next step.
Yeah.
Because early on, if they come in and they suck, and because our schedule next year is kind of hard. But if they come in and they suck right away, then it's like oh man, I don't know where this is going to go. But if you get like a Matt Roll, who we think we can take us there, then we can suck for a little bit. But if we bring in someone unproven and they suck, it's like, oh God, I don't know where this is going to go. So,
well, I mean, that's a possibility. I mean, and that's why a lot of people didn't want to get rid of Franklin, because there's people that think we're going to go backwards and it's going to be too long before we get back into being like a top 10 type of team. But I mean, we at this point, you kind of had no choice. You had no choice. So it is what it is. But listen, I'm going to roll here because I'm just, like I said, I'm at this bar watching these games. If you want to hit me up later on or whatever, man, hit me up. You want to have me on, talk about NIL or whatever it was, just hit me up, man.
All right, buddy. Sounds good, Chris.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
See you, man. All right, guys. I'm going to try to go through all your comments here just so I can answer them. I want to try to answer all of your comments while you guys are on here. I appreciate your comments. Oh, I'm trying to keep up with X here. Yeah. I will say James Franklin did a great job at convincing their fans that Penn State is some elite. Well, the program's elite. The coach wasn't. Penn State fires James Franklin, top candidates transferring and recruits. Penn State told James Franklin to hit the showers. You are a moron. James Franklin firing is going to have major reverberations throughout the sport. This is going to be a wild carousel and transfer portal season. James Franklin is really going to shine in that Tar Heel blue. Dude, here's the thing. Like, I don't know if his recruits follow him or not, but I don't know. He quit on this team. He made himself look so bad. To me, he showed his true character. But so I don't know, man. I don't know what he's going to do, but he could be hired as an assistant at like an elite school, like a Georgia, Alabama, whatever. I don't know, though, man. I don't know what he would be good at as a coordinator. He was horrible as a head coach this year. I don't know what he would do as a coordinator. He'd be an offensive coordinator, but he's not good. So I don't know what he would do. I think he's going to take like a recruiting seat somewhere. I don't know. But they need to hire a okay, I'm just going to try to catch up here. I don't know if I can. But you guys kind of had your comments there in the past on this episode. If you're watching this right now, please like the show. Please like it so that everyone that's on here, we have that many likes. We have 45 watching right now. We're at 20 likes, so please like the show. I greatly appreciate it. And subscribe if you haven't. Help us get to 1,000 subs. We're almost monetized, guys, so those of you that have been on here know that, and thank you for your support. But yeah, please like the show and sub and share it with your friends, whatever. But thank you for your support. I do appreciate it. This little bubble on the scroll here on the comments is very small. So I have this up on the right. Do you guys want me to read all the comments? I think you need to go for a young, talented up-and-comer who has adopted to the new way college football works. This is not 2012 NIL. Yep. Franklin could go to Stanford. I don't think he gets hired as a head coach, man. Like, he quit on this team. Like, he made himself look bad. He did. Like, I did not like the way he conducted himself yesterday. It was not a good look. Not a good look. For those of you that tune in on Rumble normally, it's giving me issues right now from StreamYard, so I'm going to put all these videos up on Rumble as well, but yeah. All right, so I think this is where I can start. Yeah. Not Bill Belichick. We got a tight end coach that I believe in. That's a good point. Roll is a fraud, just like Franklin. Damn, I really never saw this coming into the year. I had PSU winning it all in my 12-team bracket. I saw them playing my Ducks last year. Indy was a super impressed. They had so much talent. Yeah, they did look good. Let go of all your passive aggression. LO, don't worry, we are. Yeah, so you're not going to be an Ohio State fan. Good. It is just it just isn't about the W's and L's. It's about looking for a team that can win and plays to win. The problem is these seniors sat on the success from last year and became complacent, I guess. They need to hire a permanent coach ASAP so they can start recruiting. Matt Rule is fool's gold. If you want a great, you got to go great. Yep, got to get great. Who says what's great in college? It wouldn't be Kirk Cignetti. Look at our trajectory since playing Georgia Tech. Kirby has won 2 national titles. Got to look at a better OC than Andy K. Need a solid offensive system. Enough for the trick plays and the jet fakes. Yep. I think Lane Kiffin would be a good. I don't want Al Golden. So Sandy Barber couldn't have done that on her own, Alex. Yeah, not Al Golden. Leighton Von Brandt decommitted. Fantastic. I agree, Thomas. Lane Kiffin, Matt Rule. Yeah, I don't know if Lane would come here. Probably won't. I don't know if we win another game, man. We have new leadership with Smith and Gronk, so I don't know. Gronk is more mobile. I think he's going to be good for us. Like, unless a transfer comes in, and that's another thing we need to embrace more of the transfer portal. They need to go out and get a Dante Moore, for example, if he's available. They need to do that. My God, stop with the just recruiting guys out of high school. We can keep recruiting out of high school, but if there's a good NIL transfer, if there's a good transfer guy out there, go get him. We want to win. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if he would leave where he's at now. They're doing good. Yeah, and that's another thing. Terry Smith will probably play young talent. You're right. Yeah, I don't know if he's Franklin 2.0. We'll see. He would have more support from the NIL and all that. That's for sure. No big coach wants to be here right now. I mean, not at this second. I think they would want to come here like next year, this offseason. Yeah, he got shafted by Franklin. They could bring in. Yeah, you never know. Yeah, hey, Tyler. P-Brain, that's for sure. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. DC as a head coach. That's a Mike Tomlin. Who would be a good? Robert Saleh would be a good one. I don't want Dabo. I think he's a weirdo. Yeah. Yeah, I like that lineup right there, Thomas. I like that. He is. I don't know, man. Dabo's a weirdo. I don't know if I'd want him. Nope. Yep, he doesn't embrace NIL at all. DDS, if you're listening, go to Oregon. Too Smooth King said. Jeff Levy, not many coaches have adopted. I don't know, man. Like, they need to. Yeah. He wouldn't come here. Yeah. Yeah, he's doing good. Yeah, I think as long as they don't go to Notre Dame, I don't care where they go. I don't care if they go to Ohio State. Yep, JV coach. Yep, we need a football guy that embraces NIL, has a good NIL team. He has the support of Penn State. He has the resources, new stadium. It's an attractive job, guys. A new stadium, an NFL-sized stadium, a new one. I mean, there's a lot to attract there. And the whiteout will come back and be stronger than ever now. It wasn't as loud as it could have been under Franklin because people didn't like him. For the fact that he carried himself so arrogantly, I'm so happy he was fired. He doesn't deserve to coach in a new stadium. He did, I guess. Yep. Good picks, Faf. Yeah, they could go D2, FCS. I don't know if he is better than Franklin. I think he is. Lincoln Riley. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Yep, that's right. Dillingham, DeBoer, Fish. Yeah. He's probably not coming, Meyer. Lincoln Riley, Brett Key, USF coach. I heard that the USF coach wouldn't be a good fit in a big school like us, but from a good source. I don't know about Loxley. I don't think, yeah. Yeah, I don't think that would be the best hire, Shiano. Yeah. He did coach at Penn State. How about how about, so I believe it was Jim Caldwell. He coached at Penn State. That's another one. He's with the Panthers right now, senior assistant. He wouldn't come to the college football and be a head coach though. But yeah, he has ties to Penn State somehow. Yeah, he was at Penn State. Quarterbacks coach in '86, won a national title. I thought Frank Reich had some ties to Penn State as well. Maybe not. Yeah. I think the chaos of the coming carousel. Yeah. Yeah, they need to get ahead of it. He quit on his team, man. Like he made himself look so bad, but I'm not surprised. It's Franklin. I don't like him. Never did. College football had one. And that was Clay Travis. Yep. Kemon spell decommits. Yeah. I don't care where he goes. But I think if they do see that he quit, I think he hurt it. I think he hurt himself, honestly. Exciting and scary at the same time. Yeah. I don't think that'll happen. It's Penn State, man. We are still Penn State. Lane Kiffin. Yeah. Nah. Manny Diaz is a head coach. I wouldn't want him. Coach Drink, I don't know if he would leave. He might come here with Bo, though. You know. Yeah, he's not coming. Wow, I caught up to the comments. Did I skip any? Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. You won't win money anymore. You won't win against that spread. All right, guys, I'm going to hop off. All right, thank you for coming in. Please like the video if you're on here. We have 40-some viewers. Please everyone like the video. So subscribe. We've gone up like 30 subs since last night. So help us get to 1,000. Help us get monetized. We're almost there. This podcast is only going to get bigger. But thanks, Faf. You guys take care. I love all of you. Have a good day. We can breathe a sigh of relief knowing that snake oil salesman, that used car salesman, that coach that pissed us off so much relentlessly with his arrogance and his terrible coaching is now gone. Rest easy. Have a drink. Have a good day. See you guys.